I'm John Sanchez. I want to share some information with you from a couple of different sources. One is this new book by Dr. Sadal Neely. It's called Remote Work Revolution. Just came out. If you have seen any of my courses, you've seen some of the information that she's put out over the years, because I've read some of her articles that she's put out in Harvard Business Review about remote work, since the pandemic started, that's been a big issue. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you is a study that I was just reviewing the other day. It actually was done in January of this year by Fortune Magazine and Deloitte. And I just want to share some of the results with you, because I think they're relevant to pretty much everyone, because I hear a lot of people wondering how things are going to be going forward in terms of remote work and different things related to the pandemic. So let me just share a couple of statistics from this survey. So this survey was of CEOs, and they asked them a variety of different questions, but I just picked out just a few that I think would answer some questions for people that have been asking a lot of questions about this. So number one, they asked them about headcount, and 43% of the CEOs survey said that their headcount never declined through the pandemic, and 22% of them said that they were already back to either normal headcount pre-COVID or even higher headcount. So they either had the same number of people or more than what they had before the pandemic. When they asked them about revenue, 23% of those CEOs said their revenue never declined, and 35% said their revenue is already back to normal or higher than before the pandemic. When they asked them about office space, so this gets to that question that I keep getting asked is, what's the likelihood of going back to work, and what about all this hybrid stuff? When they asked them about office space, 75% of the CEOs said less office space is required now than before the pandemic, so meaning they've not gone back yet. And then they asked them to sort of look out into the future and what their plans are. 26% of the CEOs said that they expect to need less office space even in 2022 compared to 2019 pre-COVID levels. 43% of them said they expect less business travel in 2022. So you just think about that. That's a fair chunk of CEOs that are saying less office space and less travel. So less face-to-face time. Well, all this all points to the fact that CEOs have clearly seen some benefit from people working remotely, and the less travel, less office space, and lots of other things. A couple more things and they'll wrap up here. CEOs expect more than 1/3 of their employees to continue working from home even a year from now. Okay, and this is 2021 that we're talking about here. This came out in January 2021. 30% of CEOs ranked education and workforce training, what I do, as one of their top 3 most important priorities for the new US administration over the next 2 years. So they're wanting the president and his administration to focus on certain priorities, and 34% of them said education and workforce training is one of their top 3. So training is still important. It's probably even more important. That's been my experience since people have adjusted to all the things that have happened because of the pandemic. And that hybrid work is going to be something that will stay with us. You'll be seeing more training from me on some of the remote work topics as I make my way through this new book, Remote Work Revolution. Thank you, Dr. Neely, for putting this new book out. That's going to help us with some best practices. And I will be developing some training based on some of the things in her book, as well as some other things. So stay tuned for those. I'll see you next time.